Tokyo Ghoul episode 7, man. Tokyo Ghoul Root, I'm sorry. Episode 7 came out. That shit was, you know what? I'm gonna get into the review of the episode anyway, but what the fuck is wrong with Shuu? Sukiyama, just in case y'all don't know what I'm talking about. What is wrong with this motherfucker? Like, this motherfucker's character is by far the most... And you know what's funny, though? He's over the top, too, in the manga, but actually having a voice put to this character is just, like, 12 times as creepy. I mean, this motherfucker is the most outlandish character I've seen in a long time that wasn't a flamboyantly, like, gay character. I've seen some characters who are just, like, flamboyantly gay or, like, flamboyantly, like, almost like an androgynous, flamboyant sort of person, which is kind of oxymoronic to say, but I've seen some characters who are just kind of, like, over the top. You know, just like, wow, what the fuck is up with this character? But Shuu takes the cake. Because I'm thinking to myself, he's doing all this screaming, like, El Dorado, and this whole... I'm thinking to myself, it's not like his character is doing that, like, to the audience, you know what I'm saying? So that we are the only ones who hear that he's screaming, or he's doing this as an inner monologue or some shit. He's, like, actually screaming this shit out loud. So he... In the one scene when he was in the coffee shop with Hinami, I'm thinking to myself, this motherfucker's in the bathroom screaming at the top of his lungs, delicious, and fucking flowers, and Kaneki, and our reason, and our meaning, and I'm thinking to myself, he's screaming this shit at the top of his lungs in a bathroom, in a fucking, in a coffee joint. That's crazy as fuck. Like, why nobody, I would've went in there and said, sir, what the fuck wrong with your ass? Why are you in this bathroom screaming this random shit? Who the fuck is Kaneki? And why are you screaming his name? So are you sniffing a handkerchief in a fucking Ziploc bag with blood on it? This motherfucker is single-handedly the most outlandish character that I've seen in an anime. Like I said, he's over the top in the manga, but putting a voice to it, and it's just, I don't know if this voice actor is just the shit or what, but this character is just so over the top in this anime that it's really, really, really disturbing. Like, J. Michael Tatum has got a lot. He really has his work cut out for him, because J. Michael Tatum is doing this voice in English. He has his work cut out for him. I hope he delivers, but as of now, I'm going to already say that I haven't even heard J. Michael Tatum do his voice. I just know that he's doing the voice. I saw the dub cast shit that Funimation released. It's not going to live up to my expectations. I'm already saying it, and I haven't even heard it yet. I'm already saying it, but whatever. This episode, man, it starts off and Kaneki's having a scary fucking dream, bitch. Like, this motherfucker is dreaming that he's getting devoured by both Rize and Jason. Which, in a sense, I understand it, because he has her organs. You know what I'm saying? He was initially going to be devoured by her in the first place. He has her organs, and he devoured Jason. So, in a sense, I get why he would be having that nightmare. He's trying to come to terms with his Kakuju powers or whatever. Well, being a half Kakuju, because it's sort of taking over his body. But, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of being consumed by that power or whatever. And then that's when we get the introduction of Shuu, when he comes to Anteku or whatever. This motherfucker is just, ugh. But yeah, Shuu comes in or whatever, and he's talking to the manager, Yoshimura, and he's talking to him about Kaneki and how Kaneki has engaged in acts of cannibalism. Which, in a sense, I guess he did once with Jason, but I guess what he did eat the Arata, which was someone's, which was someone's Kagane, I guess. So yeah, I guess. But they're talking about how he's engaging in cannibalism, and Shuu gets a boner from that shit because he's like, Kaneki changed his flavor and all that sort of shit. It's just, ugh. But Hanami goes with Shuu to the coffee house that, we first get introduced to Kaneki to. He goes to that coffee house when he first meets Rize, and he's chilling with Hide and all that shit, And Hanami is trying to explore the various aspects of love. She wants to know, like, how do you know that you're in love with someone, and what does it mean to be in love with someone? She even asked Nishio, like, how did you know you were in love with, you know, the girl that you're with, and what does that mean? Like, what does it feel like? And she's asking this because she obviously can tell that Toka is in love with Kaneki. She sees the shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially after Nishio, you know what I'm saying, his definition, he's kind of like, yeah, you know, you just want to do stuff for this person. You want to be with them all the time. And Toka is taking an entrance exam to the college that Kaneki went to. So it's obvious that she's trying to get closer to him. You know what I'm saying? And Hanami is at the coffee shop with this dude, and he's just talking. He's kind of, Shu's actually been, in this particular instance with Hanami, he's been a generally good person. He's trying to cheer her up. He's teaching her shit. He's, you know, trying to lift up her spirits or whatever. And then Sin comes in, the chick who writes the books that Hanami and Kaneki are both fond of. She sees her from the window, and she's like, hey, and all this shit. And she comes in, and she's like, you got something on your mind? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? And Hanami talks to her, and then Sin is like, yeah, I don't think you can do anything for him. The way you are now, you can't do shit for him. I'm sorry to say that if it's harsh, but the way you are now, you can't do shit for your big brother. And right then and there, I was just like, wow. So I noticed anyway that they were taking elements from the manga anyway, but that was directly from it. That was directly from it. Like, other than Kaneki being a part of Aogiri Tree, they stuck with the manga pretty closely. Pretty closely. And I'm just kind of like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Other than the bone thing that they didn't do, but they stuck pretty closely with the manga. Because that conversation happened that way, word for word. She actually said that. The way you are now, there's nothing that you can do for your big brother. She said that shit in the manga. So I'm just like, wow, that was directly from it, you know? And she gives Hanami her card or whatever so that she can call her anytime that she wants to. You know what I'm saying? Then she leaves, and then we have that bathroom scene with Shuu. But then we see that Sin is at the CCG headquarters, and she wants to have an interview with, you know, a person from the CCG, you know what I'm saying? And she gets an interview with Juzo. You know what I'm saying? Well, not with Juzo, but Juzo's there or whatever. And she asks a question, is there a way to artificially make a ghoul? And they're like, what? And she's like, yeah, can you take, say, organs or blood or something like that, put it into a human, and will a new ghoul be born? You know what I'm saying? So right there, guys, that is a hint as to the nature of her character. She's not as ditzy as she claims to be. Wink, wink. But yeah, you know, that's kind of giving some insight. You know what I'm saying? And they like, what the fuck? Like, really? Like, you know, put organs into a human? You know, like Oman has already, you know what I'm saying, come to that conclusion because he saw his former students, you know, which he's keeping to himself, and he's thinking the same thing about, you know, Kaneki, and they all at the CCG are thinking the same thing about Kaneki. They're just like, wow, it was a student named Ken Kaneki who was in the hospital, kind of got all fucked up, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, so they're thinking the same thing. And then Sen mentions the coffee shop, the Anteku. She mentions the coffee shop, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, whoa. And then we see somebody come to the coffee shop, you know what I'm saying? And at first I was thinking that it might have been, you know, Juzo and the other dude. But no, it was Kaneki. He comes to the coffee shop and he's talking to the manager and shit. And then as soon as he gets there, he talks to the manager, Hanami comes in, that girl just like, Mr. Kaneki, he's here. And Hanami just fucking runs and just goes to the library where Toka is, and she's just like, it's Big Brother. And Toka just fucking leaves. She just fucking bolts out of there. Like, she just gets up and just bounces, you know what I'm saying? And he's already leaving when she gets there, and she's just like, where is he? And just like, you just missed him. And she finally catches him on like a, what is that shit? Is that like an overpass? Because it's over the street, but there's some steps. I guess to cross the street, right? But yeah, she catches him there or whatever, and they're talking and shit. You know what I'm saying? And he just tells her, I talked to the manager told me to come back. And I don't know, I want to protect all of you, so I have to get stronger. So that was his motivation for joining Aogiri Trees, to get stronger in order to protect them. So he sided with the enemy to gain strength in order to protect them. That does not sound like anyone who I know. I've never heard of anyone gaining strength by joining the evil side. But Kaneki is gaining that strength in order to, you know, protect them, and Toka just kind of, you know, she goes off on his ass a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, I get it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, she realized it afterwards. But I was just like, I get it, you know. And he just easily just blocking her attacks, which is quite funny to me because I'm thinking to myself, someone's driving, watching this shit happening. Because you gotta think to yourself, you see a white-haired kid on a bridge being punched by a girl, and he just easily, and they doing some weird, the most extensive martial arts on the planet. I mean, because at one point Toka does like a capoeira kick. I'm just like, what the hell? So someone's driving underneath the overpass, just like, oh man, I can't wait to get home. What the fuck? Why that dude got white hair? What the fuck? So right there and now I would have been like, okay, that must be a Ghoul Florence. You know what I'm saying? But she catches him off guard because she says, don't ever come back to Anteku. And he's just like, what? And then she just punches him and shit. And again, this scene right here was directly from the fucking manga. It just didn't happen the same way. When she's actually on top of him and she's like, why did you end up like this? Why did you have to end up like this? You know, that happened from the manga. That happened in the manga. It wasn't said the exact same way. In the manga, she kind of said, why did you have to change? And the circumstances in which that happened were also different. So, but yeah, the meaning and the symbology is there. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, why indeed? And I don't know why I said it like that. But she goes back home, and that's when she kind of, you know, the problem that I had with that scene in both the manga and in the manga, I understood it because he actually was just cold as fuck to her, so I understood it then. But in this particular instance, I was kind of like, it's kind of weird. But when she got back to her room, she was kind of like, I just made it harder for him to come back, didn't I? And then she was like, no, focus on it, focus, just study and focus on the task at hand. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay, you know, that's different, you know what I'm saying? I was like, that's better in a sense, you know, that she understood that her being all, you know, riled up and just automatically angry, you know what I'm saying, just kind of fucked everything up. But at least she understood it, you know. And then we see that Juzo and that other dude visit the coffee shop. They come to Anteku, and Yoshimura is just right there serving them sandwiches and coffee and shit, you know. Juzo eating the fuck out those sandwiches, and the dude is talking to him. I gotta remember that dude's name because I never fucking say it. But he's talking to Yoshimura and shit, and he asks about Kaneki. He's just like, hey, did you have a person that works named Ken Kaneki? And Yoshimura just kind of like, yeah, we haven't had contact with him in 2 months though since he left. But he said I was informed that he had just had a recent organ transplant and wasn't feeling too well. So both sides are leading the CCG to realize that these ghouls are being artificially created by someone. More than likely on your fucking side. On the human side, they're making ghouls. Like, that's what he's trying to get them to see, that humans are making ghouls. You know what I'm saying? Not in the sense, but, you know, in the scientific sense. They're making ghouls. So I was just kind of like, okay, I like that he slipped that shit in there, you know. And then dude was just like, hey, have me and you met before? Like, have we met before? And Yoshimura just kind of like, have we? Can't recall. You know what I'm saying? And then when they leave, the dude just kind of adjusts his tie. He just kind of looks like, come on, Juzo. We'll be back. So right then and there, you know, especially when he said, have we met before? We'll be back. The whole notion of ghouls. The whole notion of, hey, I heard a rumor about this shop. When Sen told him that, and then he goes there, I'm pretty sure he knows that they're all ghouls. You know, he knows that shit. So, you know, and yeah, you know. So yeah, it's gonna end up being quite interesting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly what's gonna happen because there's no reason for the CCG to attack Anteku because their main objective is to attack Aogiri Tree. But if Ken Kaneki is confirmed to be Eye Patch and he has the connection to Anteku, they might attack Anteku too because of Ken Kaneki's, you know, connection to Eye Patch and Aogiri Tree. So in a sense, Kaneki might fuck this all up for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that is kind of sad to think about it. But let me know what y'all think about this shit though, man. Tokyo Ghoul, episode 7. Tokyo Ghoul Route 8, episode 7 though, man. Let me know what y'all think about this shit though, man. What y'all think about Shuu? Fuck me, man. That dude right there is creepy as fuck. And how do y'all feel about Austin Tyndall being Ken Kaneki? How do y'all feel about that shit? I heard a little bit of the English dub of it, and it was Route A. Is what I heard. I heard him dubbing the Route A version of Kaneki, which is the already white-haired, already been tortured by Jason Kaneki. And I think that fits. But he was just kind of like, the only reason why I haven't killed you is because you're Toka's brother. I fuck with that. But if he still talks like that in season 1, that's going to be ridiculous. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a switch up of the voices. I'm hoping that he's going to kind of be the pussy. He's gonna have that pussy bitch ass voice in the first one, and then in the end have that sort of emotionless tone in his voice. That's what I hope anyway. Let me know what y'all think about this shit though, man. Vash SMP.